Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Tuesday, May 28th, 2019 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I allow the esoteric consciousness to flow. And that's one of the things that came through, even though it's not necessarily connected to the astro, although it is a little bit. I feel like we all have esoteric knowledge to be shared. We all have pieces of the puzzle. There's no one person that has the whole thing figured out. Like I do Western astrology. I do these Western horoscopes, and yet I love like Mayan astrology, and I love numerology, and I love Vedic astrology, and I like looking at all these different ways that help me understand who I am. No one path has all the puzzle pieces, and no one person has all the puzzle pieces. So it's important to allow your esoteric, your spiritual understanding to come through. It's important to be able to share that energy. And I think this message is brought to you by North Node trine Neptune in Pisces. Following this path, continue nurturing your own spiritual understanding, whatever it may be, whatever God, universe, connection that you make, understanding that you make, allow that to flow, allow that to move you and pull you forward, and allow yourself not to push your work on anybody else, but to, to live it and in living it, share it. Allow that esoteric consciousness to flow through your being, through your work, through your living. So that being said, let's dig into the astro. Now, this week is an interesting week. We are actually having a lot of relationship stuff come up this week. Besides a moon shift today, a lunar shift, we've got the North Node today, Conjunct Juno. And Juno is an asteroid that represents marriage. It doesn't represent necessarily who you will marry in your chart, but it does bring forth energies that will greatly support you in partnership if you marry somebody with these qualities. So with the North Node conjunct Juno, there's definitely a push for that divine partnership. It's also trine Neptune. So this is really interesting. And Neptune is, like I said, trine North Node, which is the first message which came to you from. But Neptune in Pisces is also sextiling the South Node. And sometimes we have to realize when we have these karmic relationships, this may be a week where the understanding of a karmic relationship, whether it's marriage or friendship or even family, frenemy, that knowledge of that may come to the surface. You may finally see beyond the veil. I do have the awareness card today. You may finally see beyond the veil in regards to that. You may have some understanding around divine partnership this week, especially with the North Node with Juno. Whether you are in a twin flame relationship, believe in twin flame relationship, in a soulmate relationship, divine complement, or if you're not yet with that beloved energy, look to see how the universe is guiding you, especially when you are in that place of feeling nurtured and feeling good. Don't make rash decisions from the shoulds. Don't make rash decisions from what society tells you. What's true for you? What feels nurturing for you? And let that guide you. Because coming down the road this week, we are going to have Venus connecting to Neptune. And we have something else that I didn't write down correctly. What's my chart? Hold on, let me pull up my chart so I can look at it, because I was looking at it. I was like, I see this coming up. Venus is going to be connecting to Neptune, which may show us some stuff around relationship. I don't remember what the other thing was that I was looking. Venus connecting to this Juno North Node energy. There it is. So as we work through these things, there may be revelations coming forward for us about this, but it kind of kicks off today with the North Node. Get clear from that nurtured place. Do not make those rash decisions. Speaking of rash decisions, especially over the next 2.5 days, we're going to have the moon in Aries. And the moon in Aries can definitely make us make rash decisions. It can make us be like, I feel this thing, and so I'm going to take this action right now. A lot of time that's a reaction, an impulse action. It's from that reactive place, and a lot of times that reactive place may show you other wounds that are there. So be very aware of any knee-jerk reactions that do come up. That being said, Moon in Aries. Moon in Aries. The good of Moon in Aries is it can fill us with energy and help drive us forward. So the Moon in Aries shifts today at 11:32 a.m. Pacific time. So especially if you've been feeling, it is a dog earthquake, dog scratching itself, shaking the bed. Sorry. Padma, the crazy. Moon shifting into Aries, 11:32 a.m., pushing you forward. If you felt like me this last week, the thing with Lala knocked me out and I spent a week in bed. Hopefully finally getting that oomph to move forward again with life. So it may help drive that action. It can drive a little overreaction, like I mentioned. Aries energy, especially when connected to the moon, which is emotional. Aries energy connects us to that frustration or passion. So be very aware of the frustrations that are arising over the next, 2.5 days, and utilize that North Node energy. How can you nurture yourself? How can you be that divine partner to yourself with this energy? That's paramount in finding your own balance between your yin and your yang energies, your yin and your yang selves. Yes, all of the selves within. So I'm going to cut it off then. There's a lot of distractions that are happening here, but let me show you the cards. This card is always an interesting card to have. It's the experiencing card, which means there's going to be things that don't necessarily feel like we want to experience. And yet, like I said yesterday, it is driving us forward. It's peeling off the veils. There's going to be a lot of continued heaviness, as we continue through this year and into 2020, as Saturn and Pluto interact. The hardest periods in my life have been Pluto transits. And for all of us, we're all getting a bit of a Pluto transit as Pluto works Saturn. And so shadows are coming to the surface. Heaviness is coming to the surface. We do have to experience it. It is part of the moving through it. It's part of the processing it. It won't last forever. It is helping you move forward. Oh, look who's come to be on camera. Hi. Say hi to Molly's. He's been feeling very depressed since Lala left, too. And he's purring for you guys. He's like, yeah, we cats feel this energy, too. Thanks, Malls. The thing is, it's like we're all feeling this. There's nobody who's not feeling some level of the heavy energy. We may process it differently, but we're all feeling it. Keep reaching for the light. Even as you walk through the valley of darkness. It will not be forever. I have the playfulness card in reverse. Keep reaching for your playfulness, even though all of this energy is quite a challenge. We are meant to experience it, but it will not last forever. Okay. Got a Molly jumping up on the bed. Okay. So I'm going to leave it at that for today. With Malls right here. Take a second. What are you grateful for? I'm grateful for a little Molly intervention on camera. You guys have been wanting to see the cats, and he's needing a little love after Lala left. He's been very sad not having her around. So maybe he's coming on camera to be like, love me. Besides that, you can always book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com for that. And the better it gets, the better it gets. There is more than enough love in the world for you, and you do have the power. Namaste.